So we have been watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
I love it.
Me too.
Oscar Isaac's killing it.
He is. We're both really enjoying it. Mm-hmm. We're about halfway through. So I thought we could talk about it while I inked a sketch of Moon Knight.
All right, let's do it.
All right, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
I'll list all of my tools and materials in the info, but I have sketched Moon Knight in non-photo blue pencil here on cold press watercolor paper.
Okay, looks good.
And I will be using a Sakura Pigma brush pen for most of the line work.
All right.
Oh, I'll list this later, but we got a new patron this week.
Oh, nice.
All right, as I begin the inking here, let me just ask, before we started watching this series, were you at all aware of the Moon Knight?
No.
As a character?
I don't remember you ever talking about him.
Okay.
No.
I used to collect Moon Knight comics a long time ago. I have a pretty good run of them somewhere in my long boxes.
Cool.
But it has been a long time. So I'm at square one like you.
Okay.
And I think when I read the comics, his suit, his uniform, was more of a traditional super suit, like a spandex or armor thing with boots and gloves and a belt and a cape.
And in the series, it's more of there's some kind of mummy wraps that appear and wrap around him when he summons the suit.
So this design that I'm doing is kind of a hybrid of that.
Okay.
Mostly a traditional super suit, but I threw in some wraps where his gloves and boots would be.
I like this texture on the building.
I used my microns for that. I wanted that pebbled look that stone has sometimes. And I wanted the sense of big, heavy, blocky stones for the building.
Okay.
Maybe I was trying to evoke the feel of stones that they used to build the pyramids.
Because the character has ties to ancient Egypt. Very clever.
Well, I don't know if it's clever. I don't even know if it works here. It's just something I was trying. But it took a long time to do, so I hope it's working. Another thing I was trying with the ink wash is to set up a range of values. The highest contrast is going to be your focal point, so I want Moon Knight to have the brightest whites and the deepest blacks.
To draw the eye.
Exactly. And I want the light source to be coming from below him, like city lights shining up the side of the building and catching him in their glow.
So the one side of the building is going to be brighter.
Yes.
And the other side will be in shadow.
Yes, but after I laid down some wash on the shadow side of the building, I realized that I had just completely obliterated a lot of that texture that it took me a half an hour to draw.
So what do you do about that?
Well, what I did was I went in with a little whitewash and I dotted in some of those pebbles.
Okay.
It took me another half an hour, but in the end, it turned out okay.
Now, Moon Knight in the series does not work alone.
No.
He's the front-facing identity, the warrior that goes into battle.
Right.
But behind the scenes...
Yeah, behind the scenes, he's guided by Khonshu, ancient Egyptian god of the moon. He appears in the series as a vision in robes and mummy wraps with a floating bird skull for a head.
Very creepy.
He is very creepy. And in that way, I believe Moon Knight the series is very much like Long Lost Friends Studio, where I am the front-facing persona, the warrior, if you will, while you represent the terrifying entity behind the scenes that hovers over me threateningly and commands my every move.
That's it.
And that is why today you will be stepping out of the shadows to ink a drawing of Khonshu in the latest episode of the series that refuses to die,
Ink It or Stink It.
For anyone who hasn't seen Ink It or Stink It, you do not draw.
Right.
You do not ink.
No.
Yet you boldly attempt to ink a drawing to then be judged.
Yeah, and let me throw in, I do not practice.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time I've picked up a brush pen since the last Ink It or Stink It. And you know how that turned out.
I do, and it did not turn out well for you.
No.
But we have a whole new set of judges this time around. 3 outside judges, and this is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Who, like our previous judges, are cartoonists whose inking skills I respect.
Yeah.
People who know what they're doing. And they will sit in judgment of your finished Khonshu inks like the Ennead in Moon Knight sits in judgment of Khonshu.
Dear Lord.
I know you're always super nervous doing this.
Yes.
But what do I say?
you yell, "Loosen up!" and you hover over me and bellow at me to just relax.
Well, granted, I may get a little frustrated.
Yeah.
I may get a little antsy watching you
Right.
ink. I assume my constant hectoring is only helping you improve.
Oh, God, the ink wash.
Well, I know this is harrowing for you. Even I get nervous when it's time to splash a bunch of ink in the background on a piece.
Well, it's because it's hard to control.
It is.
It just goes where it goes, and I didn't want to ruin the figure.
I think you did a decent job.
Thank you.
For someone who doesn't do it at all. And you even spattered some whitewash onto the sky like stars.
Yeah.
Nice technique, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
But it is not for I, your humble avatar, to judge you. Let's see what the judges have to say. Hey!
What?
An ink!
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they are being very generous.
No, they're not. No, I asked them to judge this on merit alone.
I think they were being very nice.
These guys aren't nice. These guys are monsters. And you still got an ink.
Wow, I guess I got lucky.
Congratulations. All right, now back to my Moon Knight. When last we left Mark Spector, he was more or less inked, for the most part.
Okay.
But now it's time for the dreaded wash.
You really just went right in.
Listen, I am not afraid to completely ruin this thing. That's my superpower. The fact that I know that it just doesn't matter. So, yeah, I went in fast and loose with the wash. And I think it turned out okay.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it didn't come out exactly as I'd expected or even hoped, I think the end result looks like a dramatic nighttime sky with just a hint of magic in it.
I really like that wash.
Well, that's why I scream at you to relax.
Right.
Once you realize it doesn't matter, it really loosens you up.
Nice spatter, by the way.
We used the same technique, and then I went in and I cleaned some things up.
Okay.
I used a white gel pen to highlight the edge of that stone so it wouldn't get lost in the darkness of his cape. And I used my mechanical eraser thingy to get rid of some of the more visible blue pencil.
Okay, let's take a look.
Oh, I should mention, after I did all that cleanup, I took a longer look and I decided my minimalist shading job on his suit was way too minimal.
Okay.
So I went back in and I added more shadow to give him weight and drama and to emphasize the idea of the light hitting him from below.
I really like the building texture.
I think it worked out.
I like the cape texture. The mummy wraps.
They look good.
Oh, the sky looks great. I think this is a solid piece.
It's not too shabby. I think if I did it again right now, I might approach the line work slightly differently.
Okay.
Maybe ease up on the lines and let the tones do the work.
Uh-huh.
But as it is, it's not too bad.
This was fun.
It was.
I think you would have gotten an ink from the judges if they weren't, what'd you call them? Monsters?
Well, maybe not so much monsters as thoughtful cartoonists who are committed to their craft.
Those are two vastly different things.
Potato, potato. But yeah, a big thanks to those guys for playing along.
Oh yeah, thanks.